What you avoid is what truly owns you. Face it head on. One of my favorite moments in Gladiator is when Maximus, played by Russell Crowe, really shows his strength and determination. In the dungeon, right after being betrayed by the Emperor, he sits in the dark, processing everything that just went down. It's a heavy moment, and he's angry, obviously. He's also scared. And he looks down at his sword that he's had with him for many years. It's the one item that he has from his former life. And he takes the sword, and he begins to sharpen it. It's such a powerful idea, taking something that could harm you and turning it into something that protects you instead. It's an incredibly powerful metaphor for what the Stoic path is about. One of the things that we talk about a lot in the Stoics is that you have to go through your fear. You have to go through your anxiety. You have to go through your anger. Because if you avoid those things, if you avoid what scares you, then what you avoid owns you. But if you go through it, if you go through the hard stuff, then it becomes something that makes you stronger. It becomes something that you can use to protect yourself. This is the essence of courage, right? This is the essence of what it means to be brave. It's not that the Stoic doesn't feel fear, but rather that the Stoic uses fear as fuel, uses fear as a way to help them do the right thing. I think that there are two paths that we can take when we are faced with things that scare us or challenge us. There's the easy path, and there's the hard path. The easy path is the path of avoidance. The easy path is to distract ourselves, to escape, to run away, to find some fantasy world that we can escape to. Whether it's social media or overthinking a problem so that we can make it go away, but these are just forms of avoidance. They don't actually solve the problem. The hard path is the path that leads to the uncomfortable place, which is where you have to confront your fears, which is where you have to confront your anxiety, which is where you have to make the hard decision. But it's the hard path that leads to freedom. It's the hard path that leads to wisdom. It's the hard path that leads to happiness. So what do you do when you're faced with something that scares you? Do you take the easy path, or do you take the hard path? Well, Epictetus says that it's not what happens to us that causes us pain. It's our opinion about what happens to us. So when you're faced with something that scares you, you can choose to make it something that helps you grow, or you can choose to make it something that destroys you. It all depends on the story that you tell yourself about what is happening. The Stoics believed that everything that happens to us can be traced back to some sort of choice that we've made in our past. And so when you're faced with something that scares you, you can ask yourself, why is this happening? Why am I being challenged in this way? And more often than not, you'll find that it's because of some choice that you've made in your past. Maybe it's a choice that you made 10 years ago, 20 years ago, or maybe it's a choice that you made yesterday. But whatever it is, it's always a choice that you've made that has led you to this point. So what do? You own it. You take responsibility for it. You stop blaming other people or circumstances or the universe. You say, I did this. Now let me fix it. That's what the Stoics call being wise. That's what the Stoics call having courage. That's what the Stoics call having virtue. We're going to close with a quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson. He said, "The only way to get rid of a temptation is to yield to it. The only way to escape a trial is to run into it. If you run from a trial, it will catch you later. But the secret is to go at once to the thing you fear and do that thing. For it is the greatest victory to conquer yourself." That is what the Stoics believed as well. They believed that the greatest victory was not conquering an enemy or conquering a battle, but rather conquering yourself, conquering your own fears, conquering your own weaknesses, conquering your own limitations. Because as Epictetus said, we're not bothered by external events. It's our opinions about external events that bother us. And so the key to happiness, according to the Stoics, was not getting our opinions about things wrong. What do you think? What do you do when you're faced with something that scares you? Do you take the easy path, or do you take the hard path? I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. And I would really encourage you to subscribe to this channel and to join our growing community. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.